It is 3 seconds past 2 o'clock. Today's date is July 12, 2018, and this is a meeting of the Weatherford College Board of Trustees. The record needs to reflect that a quorum is present. Today is Thursday. We're at the Arleen Strain Community Room of the Doss Student Center, which is located at 225 College Park Drive, Weatherford, Texas. And we have an agenda in front of us to consider and act on. It looks like 10 items with subparts. Number 1 is call to order, which I will do at this time. I will call this meeting to order. And I will ask Mr. Baker to lead us in the invocation. And Mr. Grizzard, would you like to do that next time?
I would be honored.
Okay, and anybody that wants to lead in the invocation at another time, we can do that. We want to pass it around.
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Baker.
Can we stand, please? Please bow with me. God, we're very thankful for this day. We're thankful for this college. Thank you for bringing so many students to us. Please continue to guide and direct our administration, our faculty, our staff, and especially our board today. Thank you for their service. Please continue to bless and protect Dr. Farmer and his family. Thank you for the summertime. We pray you'll bring students here that we can impact their lives. So in your name we pray. Amen.
All right, I'll lead in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be seated. Item number 2 on the agenda is open forum for individuals not on the agenda. Mr. Baker, do we have anyone signed up?
No, sir, we do not.
Okay, thank you. Item number 3 is the President's Report. Dr. Farmer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman and members of the Weatherford College Board of Trustees, I would like to give a few brief recognitions and an enrollment update. Last month, I shared that Weatherford College Rodeo Team was sending 3 students to the College National Finals Rodeo in Casper, Wyoming. I am pleased to report that WC students Kirby Blankenship and Lane Cooper won 10th place in team roping, and Kelly Valdez won the Scholar Award from the National Intercollegiate Rodeo Association. This was the 14th consecutive year in which Weatherford College was represented at the College National Finals Rodeo. Congratulations to Coach Emmons and team. I would like to recognize Dr. Daniel O'Mara, Mr. John Turntine, and Mr. Hayden Harbold for being accepted to the North Texas Community College Consortium Leadership Academy. Dr. O'Mara and Mr. Hayden Harbold are with us this afternoon. Gentlemen, please stand so that we can give you a round of applause. Congratulations. Former Coyote baseball player Ryan Brazier was recently called up from AAA to play for the Boston Red Sox. As a matter of fact, he pitched a perfect 9th inning against the Rangers Monday night as the Red Sox closer. So congratulations to Ryan and Coach Jeff Lightfoot. The National Junior College Athletic Association recently released its All-Academic Student Athlete Awards for the 2017-18 year, and 11 Weatherford College honorees made the list. The women's basketball team and our baseball team each earned honorable mention Academic Team of the Year honors as well. We appreciate their commitment both to academics and athletics. Athletic Director and head women's basketball coach Bob McKinley has joined us this afternoon. Coach, would you please stand so that we can honor you? Enrollment update. Our summer enrollment has shifted between the 2 summer sessions. Due to summer schedule shifting of the occupational therapy assistant and phlebotomy program courses from the 1st to the 2nd summer session, summer 1 enrollment was artificially low and Summer 2 enrollment is artificially high. Summer 1 ended up down 12% in headcount and down 17% in contact hours, while Summer 2 headcount is up 16% and Summer 2 contact hours are up 22%. Overall, we expect the total combined summer enrollment numbers to end up very close or slightly down from last summer. The fall enrollment numbers are trending relatively flat when compared to the record high fall 2017 semester. Last week we were up, but this week we are down 7% in headcount and 10% in contact hours compared to the same registration dates 1 year ago. We are hoping to end up somewhere near our record high fall 2017 enrollment. Mr. Chairman, that concludes the President's report.
Thank you, sir. It's hard to talk over this rain, isn't it?
Good thing.
Item number 4 on the agenda is consent agenda and financial reports. We'll just take this as one matter for voting purposes. Item A is approval of minutes from the June 14, 2018 board meeting. Are there any comments or questions about those minutes? B would be financial reports ending June 30, 2018. Same question. Any comments or questions about that? And then number C, item C, renewal of sealed proposals for intercollegiate athletic insurance, number RFP -02-16. Is there a motion to approve those consent agenda and financial report items?
I so moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask one question?
Yes, you can.
On the intercollegiate athletic insurance, do we send that out individually, or do we bid it as a conference, or do?
No, we send it individually. Weatherford College bids it as a whole.
Looks to me like it would make more sense if the conference were to talk about going out to a bid collectively, and maybe we could possibly save some money. But you'd get a better bid if you're bidding for 12 than you're bidding for 1.
Well,
Yeah.
we can entertain that
You know.
and see what we feel like that.
Okay,
would
that's all.
help us.
Sorry.
I'd be glad to.
No problem. Item number 5, consideration.
Did we vote?
Sorry.
Did we vote?
Did we vote?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I interrupted you.
It's okay. Well, let's vote again. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's approved. Okay. So, number 5, consideration possible action, proposals for re-roofing project for Weatherford College, Wise County, number RFP-08-18, Dr. Cantrell.
Give a little introduction to this. I brought this to you all last month for the method that you wanted to use on this. This is our Wise County campus and a re-roofing of that from a hailstorm at some time that had damaged the sealant on the roof there. And so we've been working on this a while, trying to resolve some concerns with the insurance company and bringing them closer together on the dollar amount. Eric Confield is here, our architect with Confield, Hopper and Stafford. He and Bob Ayers helped us with this. They did the drawings on the specs, for the specs. We received 3 bids, one Crawford RW LLC, DK Haney Roofing Inc., and Jeff Eubank Roofing Company. The dollar amounts are attached for your review. In looking at these dollars, we reviewed we had a committee that had criteria established, and Eric and Bob sat on that committee. Also, Dean O'Mara from Wise County was on the committee. I was on the committee. Rhonda sat with us, didn't you? I'll have to, it's in here who was with us. No, Daniel O'Mara was. Tony Hurt, the facility director of Wise County, was with us. And after reviewing, and Eric and Bob helped us with the research on the references of the companies. It was recommended, the criteria ranked the lowest price proposal. And we feel at this time that we'd like to recommend that to you all. As far as assurance from the insurance companies, when we first started working with them last fall, they were pretty far from this figure, but we had worked with the original contractors on the building to go back and show them exactly where it was a more costly project than they perceived. And so they, probably back in March, came to a conclusion with us that they could probably, that we got 3 bids at that point, and the average on those 3 bids was right at $1.09 million, which this price will fall under that. So we feel very comfortable that everything will be approved on that. So at this time, we would like to recommend that Crawford RW LLC is presented and the administration be allowed to move forward with the final contract. I'd like to ask Eric if he would like to give any input to the
Just only that we sent this out to 6 people that we knew and felt comfortable could do this. We received the 3 bids. A lot of roofing contractors are really busy this time of year, so we only received 3 bids back. I know Mr. Crawford when he was with another company years ago, and I knew the other 2 roofing companies also, and so I think the price that you got was good. We did some reference checks, and I think the only thing that was said negative about them was that, you know, they're busy and maybe a little slow, but we feel comfortable that they can get it done within the 140 days that they've proposed here. This bid also includes a $40,000 contingency, that if something comes up that we don't know unforeseen, that there are some funds there that are available to take care of those. If those are not spent, then those will be returned 100% to the college. So I don't know if you have any other questions.
What kind of roof is this?
This will be a Peterson aluminum, because it's just a manufacturer. Most of the steel all comes from the same place. They'll actually roll this on site so that the panels will be continuous, and it'll match color and profile to exactly what's there.
That's a, you said steel at one point and aluminum.
Well, it's just the name of a company. It's a steel roof. It's exactly what's there.
Okay.
The name of the company is Peterson
It's a
Aluminum.
standing seam.
Yes, sir. It'll match exactly what's up there right now.
And how, what about the warranty?
20-year, no dollar limit, leak-free warranty for that roof.
Any other questions for Eric?
I will point out there was a $50,000 deductible on our insurance policy, but I had purchased an addendum that would buy it down to $25,000. So there is a deductible of $25,000 on that policy. I had said it would pay for it in full, but I was.
No. Who pays that $25,000?
It would come out of the Wise County contingency budget that's there already.
So, anything else for Eric? Mr. Curley, a question to you. Do you anticipate that the proper action here would be to approve the bid and to recommend that an agreement be prepared and presented, or are we just going to simply sign the agreement?
I haven't seen it, I haven't seen the bid, but I would imagine that the bid is sufficient
Okay.
to go with, and that a motion to approve that bid.
Approve the bid?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Any other questions at this time or comments? And the bid is $1,085,000. Okay, all right. Is there a motion? Excuse me, did you have something else? Okay. The motion would be to approve the bid of $1,085,000 for re-roofing Weatherford College, Wise County. Is there such a
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
A second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's approved. Item number 6, reports. Omnibus survey would be item A. Dr. Atkins.
Okay. We administered a comprehensive student survey at the end of the spring semester, Now, we did this in support of the college's strategic goal 3 to improve services to students and to collect data on student health services and child care, which, as you may remember, were major concerns of faculty and students during the strategic planning process. We also wanted to review student satisfaction with college technology services in support of strategic goal 4. The survey was administered through student email so that all students, regardless of location or mode of course delivery, could participate. We had 362 respondents, of which 65% were at the main campus, 20% at off-campus locations, 8% online, 7% dual credit. Most of the respondents were associate degree seeking. 16% were taking courses for transfer, and 5% seeking certificates. We surveyed virtually every area of the college except testing and campus police, who had already administered surveys. Students were asked if they had used the service, and if so, to rate the level of satisfaction, on various components of the service. Online services were ranked according to the ease of navigation and usefulness of the information. Okay, we are very pleased to report that the majority of responses in all areas of the college were in the strongly agreed ranking as far as satisfaction. Although most students indicated they were aware of the service, most stated they had not used the services in the past 2 to 3 months toward the end of the semester, with the exception of the library, which that's good. Students are using the library throughout the semester. Lack of child care had kept 50% of the respondents with children from enrolling in classes, and 64% from attending classes at one time or another. 75% based their schedule on child care availability. 51% only need part-time child care. But overall, 78% said that if Weatherford College provided local, affordable options for child care, they would use it. Okay, most of our students have health insurance, but 24% stated the lack of insurance had kept them from seeking medical care. Affordability had kept 37% from doing so, and 22% said they have no primary means of health care. Finally, 40% stated that if the college provided access to affordable health insurance, they would participate. When asked how they heard about Weatherford College, most said through friends and high school. That was followed by family, the college website, social media, and online advertising. Coming in last was newspaper ads, which I think says a lot about where our students get their news. Okay, what did we learn from the survey moving forward? First of all, we learned that students need to be encouraged to take advantage of the many college services throughout the semester, perhaps through awareness efforts by faculty and staff. Adequate child care continues to be a concern for many students. The college could explore partnering with local child care facilities to provide affordable and flexible child care. The college could also explore affordable insurance options for college students and make the information available during admissions. Finally, the college needs to continue to build strong partnerships with school districts since they are a primary source for informing potential students about the college. So this is an overview of some of the findings of the survey. Do you have any questions, comments? Thank you.
I just have
Okay.
one comment. It looks to me like 71% of the respondents having health insurance. That surprises me. What
It
about
hit
you?
me too a little bit.
What do you attribute that to?
We've got a very traditional student population. Most live with parents. They're fresh out of high school, coming to college. So most of our students have really strong parental support. So it's those that don't have insurance, I think, that.
It's bad news for the newspapers.
Yeah, we may be spending too much money there, I don't know.
Well,
Appreciate your,
Thank you very much. That's a great report.
thank you.
Any comments or questions about that?
But thank you. It really, it sort of gives you directions that we need to go and for the future.
It does. And we plan on continuing surveying holistically and comprehensively. Hopefully do it earlier in the semester. Maybe faculty will give students incentives to participate.
That's a good.
Point. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Atkins. Dr. Cantrell, guided pathways update.
I would just like to give you an update today of exactly where we are on the Guided Pathways initiative to achieve the 60 by 30 PX plan for the state of Texas. We brought this to you all in February, and since that time we've been very busy. Their team leaders have met on a monthly basis, at least monthly, and sometimes a lot more than that in individual situations, and extended the number of our team leaders. I'd like to have the team leaders that are here today to please stand. They've been very instrumental. This group especially, I think, has done a lot of work attending the institutes and helping us lead. The Vice President Indy and also Dean Finley has been very good to help us with this. And I think, Adam, have you attended both? The first institute, yes. Where we are right now, in April, the 16th through the 18th, the team leaders attended the Texas Pathway Institute number 4, which had to do with front door academic success. The Pathways accomplishments as a direct result of this institute were, 1, there was a simplification of internal scoring of test scores for the TSI. What we found in meeting with each other, what was pointed out at the Institute, many times there's just obstacles that come in the way of students that maybe have to do with the process or procedure that we're doing. This, for example, was very easy to fix after we looked at it and people from the testing office talking to student services, and the fact that instead of requiring the student to bring the test scores over to student services, we're now batching those and sending them at the end of the day where they automatically go online. It's things like that are just as simple as can be, but there may be some students that just threw up their hands and said, forget it, I'm not searching out that office, you know. Another accomplishment was referral of non-credit math students, WISD Adult Basic Education. This time they pointed out to us who our WISD partner was with the AID, which is the Adult Basic Education there. And she went, Jennifer Morris, I believe was her name, and she went with us as a partner with the Institute. And she pointed out that there are grant funds for math educations to adult students who have not passed the TSI, which will be an aid to our students that we didn't realize was out there, that may help fund some of those developmental courses that was taking them longer to finish. Another was the mapping of high school endorsements to the Weatherford College pathways. Dean Finley and Dr. Locke worked together to create suggestions to the pathways for dual credit students based on their intended majors. This is particularly important for those students going in math, science, and social sciences. We've also created, or Sarah, I think, has done this draft for us, of a graphic that will show the link from the TEA endorsements to the Weatherford College pathways. This has not been adopted yet, but we've reviewed it and are very impressed with it and think it will tie to the high schools where it will work very well with the dual credit students. Weatherford College has also held 2 faculty and student services staff workshops since the Texas Pathways Institute #4 on April 6th and May 31st. They were very well attended. At these meetings, an introduction to the guided pathways was given, which many people, faculty and staff on campus were not as familiar as we were fortunate to be in the work that we've done. I think what that we accomplished from those 2 meetings, Dr. Alex Ebe was very instrumental in putting those workshops together. They helped us create awareness across the college on the Guided Pathways initiatives. They identified barriers with various departments and the college at large that could impede the Weatherford College Guided Pathways initiative. Very importantly, it addressed fears and anxiety to the Guided Pathways project through enhanced communication. It identified targeted goals and progress that are being made in the following specific areas. Formulating a strategic plan with clear measurable goals for improving student outcomes. We're working on that this summer. We've got targeted goals that we want to accomplish by the fall and throughout the next year. Planning and implementation, we've decided must be inclusive for all functional areas of the college. We must include everyone in this. And as we progress with our different workshops, we are bringing them on academic. This fall, we're planning on doing a student service, and I'm sure later on we'll do a more comprehensive, the whole college as to activities. The mapping of meta majors or career pathways with the high school endorsements, that's still in progress. The mapping of the fields of study, which many of those, as Dean Vice President Indy has pointed out many times, that the state of Texas has established many of those for us. So that has come out this year. So that work is not quite as extensive, but there will be a few adjustments and that is still in progress. Also, we've accomplished sequencing of program core courses around fields of study. That's still in process. Customizing of student learning outcomes for particular programs. And much of the work is taking place in individual departments when we sit down, and that's one of the things we've done in workshop, is split up with a cross-sectional group and looking at the different fields that they may go into and seeing which course sequencing is necessary for those. We are identifying marketable skills to the customized student learning outcome, and that's still in progress. The mapping of the gateway course pathways into limited access programs, we're also continuing our work on. We had planned to do our student services this summer, but we've been so busy with orientation that we decided we would put that session off until the fall, and it would be closer in line with the time that our ERP system, the installation of it, working with it, which will help us greatly. I'd like to point out now about the, on June 1st through the 2nd, Sue Cody, Dr. Marlette, Judy McAnally, Leila Morris, and Dr. Todd Allen Farmer attended the Community College Association of Texas Trustees meeting in Fort Worth. That's very important to us to point out because it starts with you all, the leadership of this college with this Guided Pathways program. I know that Sue Cody came back and was talking about all the Guided Pathways that was discussed over there. There was a focus at the conference on the role of academic advising in reaching the 60 by 30 TX, developing and implementing new and best practices with the goal of improving completion rates for all students. There was the latest on how to effectively use state and institutional data. Partnerships were showcased, which emphasized on how trustees play a vital role in the institutional strategic planning and aimed at meeting the 60 by 30 TX and meeting workforce needs in Texas. Focus on responsiveness to local workforce. This is where this Guided Pathways is so important as a strategy to achieve that 60 by 30 TX. This was developed by the Texas Success Initiative under TACC, and this is why we feel it's so important. We feel without you all as leaders, we would not have the different resources that we do need. Just for example, the ERP system that was approved last month is going to be so essential to us moving forward in this process. And also, I look at when we come to you next month with the board workshop. I think you're going to look at this board budget this time, and it's going to have an emphasis on this Guided Pathways initiative with success initiatives identified in this budget that we're bringing to you all. A third Guided Pathways, as I mentioned to you, will be scheduled for fall 2018, which was being developed by Adam Finley. Kay Landrum is helping also, and others in the student services area, to present ideas for improving the onboarding experience for new students, including cross-campus collaboration with departments involved in the matriculation process. They will present our new student orientation information to faculty and staff as part of the advising, mentoring, training, and including information regarding math pathways, developmental pathways for reading and writing competency, and directing students to the appropriate academic and non-academic resources to underpin their success. It will demonstrate the use of the new ERP system will take place as a module, as a tool for improving advising and sharing of information between academic advisors and faculty advisors. And they will discuss ways to improve front door access for all students, especially the underserved population. Our final activity this year will be the November 14th through the 16th Institute number 5, which will be held in Dallas. At that time, being in such close proximity, I know the Institute will pays for 7 members to attend at all times. We have paid for an additional team to go one time, and I think this time I'm going to see is how many they will allow us to send, because I think being so close that we could drive back and forth and attend some of these meetings, and they're so important for us to know and see what other schools have done. Many of these schools have already been working on this for two years. I mean, like, let's see, back since 15. So they are very helpful to us. I've been very impressed with the sharing of information, what's worked well for them and what's not working. They've offered to come to our campus to do presentations to help us, and that's one of the things that I think is so beneficial for us to be able to share with other schools in the state. In closing, I would like to point out, though, that Dr. Farmer and I were at dinner over at the community college meeting, the trustees meeting, and Dr. Cynthia Farrell came up, who is over the Texas Success Center, and I introduced them. She pointed out to Dr. Farmer that we did get started late on this, but she was so impressed with how much ground we had made in just almost a year's time. And she thought that that we would have no problem at all at catching up with the other schools, that some of the schools that had come on early had kind of come in with a gusto and then slowed down. And she said, you all have accomplished a lot, so that made us feel very good, and we're very proud. And I would like to appreciate if you all have questions. Part of the team is here. Our team numbers have increased. We've got, well, there's been so many to attend the sessions, but with that, the main leaders, we've probably expanded those to about 30 now from the original 7. So it's growing, but that's what we want. We want everybody on campus to be aware of this, and I think we've achieved it. Do you have any questions?
Makes me wish I wasn't retired.
Well, I don't think this is something that, if board members want to be involved in it, because, well, just like I said, you all are leading this initiative for us, and any input we can get, we will take it from any place.
It's a win-win.
What kind of fears and concerns, you used the term fear, what kind of fear are you talking about here? Is it the students that are?
I think this was fears with faculty and staff.
Okay.
This is another initiative coming down the road.
We got more to do. And
Right,
we
we've
don't
got
have
more to
enough time
do, and
what
that
we're
won't
doing. I
work.
got you.
We've tried that before,
We're here
or
to
things
teach,
like
not-
that. But I was very impressed that first session that we had with the attendees. Coach McKinley was there, which was very good. He was impressed. I mean, and usually Bob's been here a while and he's seen a lot coming up, but he was. I was very pleased of his involvement in there. And so when you look at that, I think some of those, like we said, some of those fears were resolved. This is not something we're being forced to do if it doesn't fit us. We pick and choose what will fit Weatherford College. So that's the good thing about this. It's a framework for us.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Good job,
Appreciate it.
Andrew.
Appreciate it. Are there any other comments or questions? For those?
Thank you for all the hard work in catching us up where we started late. And I will, whatever I have the time to do and whatever any way I can help, I will be glad to help.
Thank you. Maybe calling on you.
Well, I do have one question. I know back, there was, the last meeting was canceled. It was about advising.
Yes.
Is that the one? That's the one I want to go to.
Okay, well, it will be coming up. We don't have the date on it yet, but it's after classes get started and Adam feels like he's ready to go. We're having to use the different expertise we have around.
Will this be incorporated into freshman orientation?
It will be incorporated into not only freshman orientation, but everything we do.
Yeah,
Everything. Some sides and bottom.
to let them know this is where we,
Yes, sir.
What you can do for me is, if you can call and give these dates, whatever the dates are, if it looks like something that would be beneficial, that's not a good way to say it. If it's a meeting that I need to attend, if you can call and put that on the calendar, because that's really good for me. I walk out of here with good intentions. I'll make that call, and then I don't get it done because I really don't stick it on the calendar because I don't really know when it's going to be. And a lot of these are to be determined, obviously.
Right. I totally agree. Many of these on campus are work sessions where we really get down in the nitty-gritty. And but I will point out, I believe there's a session next March. I don't have the date on that for the community college trustees for sure.
Good. And anywhere we can show support, you know, not that we want to come in and try to manage, because that's not it at all.
So I think
Just-
you attended several of the
Yeah.
Guided Pathways meetings. If you want to add anything, I think that would be good.
So it makes me feel about that high that I didn't make that one over in Fort Worth. And so I'd like to do something to try to
Well, it
buy
was a
back
good
some
one. But I got
And I think
Status of
it
this
would,
deal.
we will absolutely invite you to that session, and I think that would mean a
Give me a
lot
call.
to the faculty
Call
staff to see
Kim
the
and put it
support
on
that
the
we
agenda,
have.
you know. But I appreciate this, because I can tell how important it is, and y'all are working hard, and I appreciate it. Sue,
Definitely a
you know,
team effort.
The call of duty on this deal, I mean,
just because I think it's so important. Been there. I didn't get to do that.
all right. We'll move to agenda item number 7, future agenda items or meetings. Dr. Farmer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's budget season, and so we have 3 meetings forthcoming. Agenda item 7A, August 7th. I wanted to point out that that is a 5:00 p.m. budget workshop, so a little different timing there. 5 p.m. we'll be meeting for the budget workshop. Agenda item 7B, August 9th, is our normal August board meeting at 2 p.m. And then agenda items 7C and 7D are our August 30 meeting at 2 p.m., where we will discuss the proposed 2018 tax rate and the proposed 2018-19 budget.
All right. Is there any action on that from any motion standpoint?
Not at this time.
Okay, thank you. Anything else on that?
No, sir. Thank you.
Any comments or questions by any board member? Number 8, announcements, Mr. Baker.
Yes, sir. It's summertime, so we don't have a ton of public events, but I do want to tell you that our Fine Arts Department is starting a summer program this year, and they have 2 productions coming up. You have there in your packet a children's theater production and also a William Shakespeare production, the 12th night in mid-August. And of course, our fall semester begins August 22nd.
Here before you know it.
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
Yes. There's a question I have about what progress, if any, we're making on demand studies. Is that yours? Is that yours?
Actually,
Question.
Dr. Amir is working on demand studies. If you're talking about the one specific to WCWC, he's working with Mr. Butler. You might want to talk more about that. And if you mean the college in general, we can talk about that as well.
Do you need my attention on that, Vice President Andy?
If you don't mind.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Dr. Farmer.
Please come forward, speaking to the microphone.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chairman, Dr. Farmer, members of the board, I'm Daniel J. O'Mara. I'm the new dean of Weatherford College Wise County campus. Dr. Marlette and I have been in discussion regarding a demand study. We're in the initial stages, working together, just like Vice President Endy had indicated, with Mr. Lee Butler and the good folks in institutional effectiveness who are providing us with real-time data on the needs of Wise County in terms of employment, projecting into the year 2024. I look forward to completing that hopefully by the end of the month. We have an initial draft. I've shared my notes with Dr. Marlette regarding that. Again, it's as comprehensive as we can possibly do it, and I look forward to sharing that information hopefully at the end of the month. Do you have any questions or comments?
Well, it's just that that is a key component of the whole guided pathways thing, because, you know, it all comes down to, even in an English class, which is my field, it's what are your students going to leave your class with in terms of marketable skills, and what kind of jobs can they get with those skills, and that it's these demand studies are just vital.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for underscoring the notion of the importance of this particular project. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But you don't mind me saying, so there's a challenge to doing this that isn't obvious if you haven't dealt with it. What we're asked to do is to take data principally from the Texas Workforce Commission that considers the Metroplex as our employment area. But when we're talking about places like Mineral Wells, and we're talking about Decatur and Bridgeport, we train people to do jobs that are in the Metroplex. What we're doing is training people to leave the community. Now, what we're trying to do is, we want that data because it's great to be able to find people jobs that allow them mobility. But we've got to get more granular to find out what is going on, and usually it's smaller and doesn't show up as big deals in the Texas Workforce Commission numbers. but what's going on in the county where we're serving, what kind of industries are going on there, what kind of industries are emerging, and what kind of training opportunities do we need to provide. And that isn't simple to pull out of TWC numbers. We've got to go and do some walking around and talking to people about what they're doing and what's happening in the community. So that's why it takes a little bit longer than simply pulling data out of existing but trusted sources, but they don't tell us the whole picture because they're not granular enough. Does that help you to understand where we're at?
I guess probably what I'd like to know is Dr. Marlette, he brings a lot to the table, I think, and we're so lucky to have Wise County involved in this board now. And so, Robert, I would appreciate you, since you're an educator, retired educator, a man of vast knowledge.
Sure.
Why don't you explain a little bit about what, when you talk about demand studies, what are you looking for as far as information in that area?
I'm
Those
thinking
areas.
a lot more along the lines of comprehensive. I'm not really talking about work studies. I know that's a base of information that's critical for that side of what we do, of the demand that our students need, that we need to prepare our students to do. But what have we done? How do we know we're serving these 5 counties? I know I'm talking about Wise County, we've been talking about Wise County, but what's good for the goose is good for the gander kind of deal. It's like, how do we know we're serving the academic needs of the students in these 5 counties? It may not take the form of a formal like work demand study kind of thing, but I'm just talking about how are we exploring the mechanisms that we can say we are taking care of what's needed in our 5 counties. How do we do that? And I'm not going to try to pretend to you that I know. I'm going to tell you exactly how you do that. I don't know how you do that exactly. But I know it can be done because we got a lot of good people that can do it. So that's what I'm asking is how are we finding out those kinds of things? We can't do it this month or next month or so on, but we need to be able to, at each one of these meetings, come together and say, this is the progress we made. We got started by doing this, this, and this. The next month we say we did some of those things and we're doing this, this, this the next month. And in a year or two, we might have a real good idea how well we're serving every single potential student in these 5 counties. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't want to speak over my esteemed colleagues, but if you don't mind me adding a little bit to what has already been presented. In addition to all the good things that they've mentioned, we're starting at the micro level, utilizing our superintendent network. For example, Brandon Peavy, the superintendent of Bridgeport. I visited with him regarding the local demand there in the Bridgeport area and some of the shift away from oil and gas towards manufacturing and the types of jobs. We're then flaring that out to what Dr. O'Meara is working on. And Mr. Indy is working very closely with Lee Butler, who happens to be on vacation this week, who's not here. But Mr. Butler has been charged with looking at our 5 county service area with state data, looking at our entire state, and then looking at national data from the U.S. Department of Labor, specific documents like the Employment Outlook Handbook, the Occupational Outlook Handbook, which gives national projections on what kinds of jobs are going to be in high demand over the next decade and which types of job fields are going to be in low demand, the sheer number of those jobs. So we're going to look at it in layers, both at the local level, at the county level, at our 5 county service level, at the state level, and then at a national level. So we truly will have a comprehensive demand study report when we're finished, but we have different players that are working on different facets of that study at this time. But I think at the micro level, actually having boots on the ground and talking with those local superintendents and talking with those local employers and workforce people who are actually doing the hiring is critically important in knowing what is applicable to those specific communities that we serve.
What else, Dr. Marlette?
Well, as long as we also include the academics needs. We've talked about vocational needs a lot here, but we need to also know why are some students going to one school and going to another school, and why aren't they coming here? Do we need them? Can we afford them? I mean, do we need
If I may, that's
students?
beyond my scope, if I may leave that to my esteemed colleagues. So,
Sure.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Members of the board, thank you. President Farmer, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dr. Marlette, we're doing that, if you don't mind me saying so. We're working with Dr. Locke, who runs our e-learning and dual credit area. And a lot of the students you're asking about are going to be traditional students who are transferring immediately from high schools into the college environment. It's a particular target of the Texas 60 by 30 initiative, and it's a regional target issue. So she and Mr. Turntine have been attending, I've been to those workshops as well, looking at what's happening in our region in terms of student progress. And we're looking at that, and that's one of the things that Mr. Butler and I will specifically focus in on. Not that I can do the data work, but it's asking the right questions to get those answers that we're looking at. Why are they going where they're going? Is there an inhibitor to them progressing here? And as Dr. Farmer indicated, sometimes that comes back to a granular investigation. What's happening at the high school level or immediate from the high school level to encourage those students to migrate where they are. Very rarely do masses of students just read something online and go, well, we're going to go do that. There's usually something that we can track down within the system to say, this is what's happening at this location and we need to address it.
Well, that's really critical what Dr. Farmer has addressed concerning Wise County, and that's progressing very well. And we can learn something from that for the other counties. But that's just, for instance, what percentage of the students in these 5 counties are homeschooled? How do we have a handle on them and what they need? Some of our best students in our music program are mainly high. Most of our students are homeschooled, and of those, our best students are homeschooled. So are they going? Where are they going? I don't know where they're going.
Well, we do.
Good.
We can track it through national data, but we can also track it locally. We have over 35 partners in dual credit, and that sets us up for advancement. And it includes a number of consortiums, a number of private schools and homeschool organizations. So in fact, the institutions that have graduated students with associate's degrees before they graduated with high school diplomas were private institutions that we have relationships with. So we are looking at that. We aren't going to give you today absolute numbers on what we're doing, but I assure you that as we've seen the migration from traditional secondary education into other avenues, we've been tracking it to figure out how we facilitate that and get those students here.
That's what I'm interested in, is to know that we have a handle, or we're moving, and that there is a mechanism, and you're working on it, and we're making progress. That's just what we need to know.
Well, why don't we do it this way? Because I think I find this interesting, because if we have information that people want, I think we need to get it. But it sounds to me like there could be reports periodically about this. Dr. Marlette, is your feeling that this is something that needs to be reported about every meeting or periodically? How do you feel about that?
Well, I think when the administration feels like that there's some new movement, we ought to know about it.
All right.
It doesn't have to be a regular.
All right. Well, I think that's what we'll let you talk about on the administration level, because it sounds like this is good stuff as always. And so, why don't we put an agenda item on next time that has to do with periodically updating where we are, what our progress is, and try to stay up on this so that this information is available and satisfies concerns and needs. Will that work? Dr. Marlette?
Oh, as far as I'm concerned, certainly, yes, sir.
Dr. Marlette, I want you to
Yes,
be,
sir.
I want you to be pleased.
Oh, I am. Everything's
right.
wonderful. This is great organization. I'll tell you, I'm more and more overwhelmed by the positiveness of it every day that I'm involved in it.
I love it. All right, we're gonna move on to the next item, which is a closed session, and,
Mr. Chairman, I have
okay, I'm
one more.
sorry, Roger, every time I
One
move to
more.
another item, I
No,
cut you off.
No, I was just, do you think it would, I don't want to, it's kind of walking on eggshells, but would it be beneficial for us to compile for each one of the superintendents how their students that have enrolled at Weatherford College did as far as the test goes? What, I'm sorry, I forgot, the accomplished, what is it now? Yeah. Would superintendents want that information? I know sometimes that may not be a pretty picture, but if I mean, if we're not making good pizza, somebody better tell me.
Well, most of the schools now are testing at the high school. Most of them are doing the TSI at the high school, so they get the scores right then. Most of
Okay.
them.
So superintendents and principals know or have access to how their students are doing.
Yeah, I would think so.
If they want it,
Yeah.
and if they go for it, they do.
I think we need to be very careful about how, and discreet on how we do that, but yes, they do need.
That's why I use the term
accurate data.
eggshells,
Yes.
because, it's, you know, once again, I realize the sensitivity of this topic. But are we here for the kids?
Absolutely.
Or we are here for this hurt? I mean, I would rather do something to help a child than I had hurt some superintendent's feelings.
And we are more than happy to share
Yeah.
some of that data with our partners at the
And-
K-12
and-
level.
I just think they would want to know. That tells me how to fix what isn't working. And it's not about passing the STAR test. It's about getting people over the STAR test and ready for that next level of learning. I feel real strongly about that, and I've told you. But I also don't want to make, I'm not going to put on the headline Weatherford Democrat, this school district, but I think that's information that we need to share with them to make sure they know it, because sometimes a high school principal may not want to share that information freely.
Absolutely. And along with that information that we would share our sincere gratitude and appreciation for all the hard work that those superintendents, principals, and teachers
Yeah,
are doing.
I mean, this is not meant to be a negative. It's meant to be a positive to help you build and improve.
Absolutely.
Well, all righty, my day job tells me that we need to try to get back on agenda. Don't want to get slapped down. So we'll jump back to the agenda, and we will now move to the closed session part on number 9. We're going to close the open session. We'll reconvene in closed session, and we will be deliberating real property in accordance with Government Code 551072, deliberating appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee in accordance with Government Code 551074. So we are adjourned, and will immediately reconvene into closed session. And I'd like for Dr. Farmer, Mr. Curley to hang in here with us. We need anybody else in here for that?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. All righty, it's 4:15, and the closed session has been closed, and now we're back in open session. So I'm calling the general meeting back into order, and Actually, at this point, I really have nothing. If anybody else on the board wants to make any comments about the closed session, I really don't think there's anything I care to mention, just to even in any general form about that. Anybody have anything they want to say, just in general? All right. We'll move to item number 10, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.